Hello, my name is Jim Penn. I'm the manager of retirement services here at VectorVest. And as I do time to time, I would like to talk about an article that I recently saw. And today's article is from Yahoo Finance. It's about 10 oil and gas stocks to buy according to Ray Dalio, the great hedge fund manager, runs Bridgewater, about $235 billion under assets under management. So pretty good voice to listen to now and then. The story is about a recent filing showing recently what stocks Mr. Dalio added to his fund. And it's about 10 oil and gas stocks to buy according to Ray Dalio. And mostly when we're looking at gas stocks and oil stocks, certainly from the retirement-minded view that I take from our retirement services department here, is for a good quality stock, right? Get some capital appreciation. But these type of stocks, these mature, free cash flow, strong companies that pay a steady growing dividend. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today. If I scroll down the article here, it gives a great background of Ray Dalio, again, the Bridgewater fund that he began and manages still. And I just thought it was a great story to kind of show you how to use VectorVest to help you rank, analyze good quality dividend stocks or any stock within the VectorVest program. And so these list of stocks that come in are really pretty good. Instead of reading through the exact spreadsheet stuff that's written here in the article, what I'd like to do is go into the program and take a look at them through the VectorVest lens here. So where I am now is in the home page of the VectorVest program. I'm going to go up to the main toolbar and I'm going to choose the Viewers tab. And from here, what I've done is create a couple of watch lists. And you'll see these are the 10 stocks from the article in Yahoo Finance that I was talking about. LNG, EOG, some popular names, Marathon Petroleum, Chevron, and Exxon. And so really good names. I also have here in the watch list that I'm going to talk a little bit about I have one from a presentation I did a while ago on Warren Buffett's top dividend stocks. And then finally, I want to talk about a dividend portfolio that I help manage here for our retirement coaching group and some of the stocks that we have there. And a lot of these will overlap. But the power and the beauty of VectorVest lies in the ability here for me to create a watch list from an article, as we just saw, and the ability to say, okay, not that I question Ray Dalio, but I still want to run it through the VectorVest program. And I want to find the very best. Now, listen, if I was running Bridgewater at, $235 billion, I would buy maybe, 10 or 20 or 30, however many oil and gas stocks that he may own. But for the average individual investor, what I want to be able to do is take a list like we see here and kind of cherry pick through and say, okay, what are the best quality stocks for me if I want to mimic whether it's somebody like Ray Dalio or Warren Buffett or whatever it might be. So we'll start here, and here's where we get all of the important information. We get all of the important VectorVest analysis of the stock, all of our proprietary indicators, relative value, safety, timing. The VST, or the value, safety, timing indicator, takes all these fundamental and technical analysis that we use for price appreciation potential as relative value, a stock's safety, its consistency and predictability of financial performance is relative safety. And then finally, our technical indicator is RT, or relative timing. All of these are on a 0 to 2 scale. These formulas roll into one number called the VST, a vector on a 0 to 2 scale that gives us the overall analysis of that stock. And we have some other indicators as well. As I scroll over, first thing I'm going to do is break this down here for a minute. As I scroll over, we can see the entire spreadsheet here, and I'll bring us to the dividend information, because this is kind of what I wanted to focus on here today and take a look. And right out of the gate, we're able to sort these 10 stocks by VST, or value, safety, timing. So that's the way they're sorted here. But what I can do is go to all of the dividend information and make sure these live up to the quality of stock. Again, I don't have the ability, or you may not have the ability, to buy 20 of these stocks. What are the best stocks in here? couple of things you can do. Well, first of all, I can sort by any of these headers. I can sort it by the best relative safety numbers coming to the top of the list. Although when we're looking for dividend stocks, as important as relative safety is, for these, mature companies with strong free cash flow, RS may not always be, as high as we might need it or want it to be. So what I look at instead is the earnings growth rate and the dividend growth rate and safety. These are the important factors if my objective is a good quality dividend stock. So here, the highest ranked VST stock is LNG. It's got a dividend yield of 0.77%, great dividend safety, but that dividend payout is $1.32. It's only, again, under 1%. So one thing I can do is sort these stocks by dividend yield, kind of start there. Not that I always chase the highest yield, but we've got a pretty good list of stocks here. Earnings growth rate, very strong on all of the stocks, which doesn't surprise me for someone like Ray Dalio. The dividend here are all nice payouts. The yields, some a little higher than others. And then our dividend growth rate. So right out of the gate, what I would do if I were trying to put the best dividend growth stocks in my portfolio is eliminate the two with a negative dividend growth rate. And along with Dominion, which has the lowest earnings growth rate. So that may be a first step that I take. I then maybe would look at yield, something like Sempra Energy, ExxonMobil, another great stock. And the great thing is you can come down to the watch list average here, and you can see for the average of these stocks, the dividend yield, the safety. And dividend safety, by the way, is the one indicator in VectorVest that's not on a 0 to 2 scale. The proprietary indicator is on a 0 to 99 scale. Anything above 50 being favorable. Ensuring that dividend payout ratio, two ways to look at it. I could look at dividend yield versus earnings yield. I need that earnings yield to be greater, or I need earnings per share to be greater than the dividend paid. Otherwise, how can I count on it continuing not only to pay, but to grow that dividend? So dividend safety above 50 is what we want to look for. So as you might expect, some great stocks here on the list when it comes to all of the main analysis that we would like to use. Strong yields, dividend safety being where we need it to be, dividend growth rate, and earnings growth rate, key indicators on building that dividend portfolio. I created one a while back about Warren Buffett, an article about his top 6 dividend-paying stocks. And if, again, you don't want to inundate your portfolio with all petroleum and or gas stocks, so you want to be able to have that diversity in a portfolio like this. And so Apple and Bank of America certainly would make the list here. When we look at, if I scroll back over, we'll look at the dividend information here. For a company like Apple, the yield, not huge, but you're going to get nice capital appreciation from this and a safe, steady dividend that continues to grow. Bank of America, Warren Buffett in the Berkshire Hathaway fund, or Warren Buffett owns over a billion shares of Bank of America. That's right, a billion. Pays 88 cents annual dividend. It's $880 million a year for Mr. Buffett. Now, the diversity here, the yield is very nice there. Kraft, over 4% yield. Verizon, higher yield. Sometimes, unfortunately, a higher yield could mean that the underlying stock's price performance is not where we want it to be. In fact, I read recently Mr. Buffett may have trimmed down his Verizon numbers just a touch. But just a great way to come in. And then the VectorVest dividend portfolio. This is one I created using a portfolio that we manage in our retirement coaching group, using good quality stocks that have a yield of at least 3% to make the list. Now, these are current positions. When the yield goes lower, it means that the underlying performance of the price of the stock, remember that inverse relationship on price and yield. So that's a good sign. So these are all really good quality stocks built into that portfolio. These are the type of stocks, if you're looking to build a good quality dividend growth portfolio, these are the numbers that you have to keep in mind. And they're all found right here in the VectorVest program. Dividend yield, safety, and growth, or what we call the YSG vector on a 0 to 2 scale. So whether you're picking your own dividend stocks or using somebody like Mr. Buffett or Mr. Dalio, the VectorVest program is always the best place to go back and determine which stocks are best for your portfolio. So thank you for taking the time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.